Ever feel like you're staring up at the night sky, just overwhelmed by how many stars there are? That's what the world of cloud computing can feel like sometimes.
Yeah.
But don't worry, because in this deep dive, we're going to break it all down and make it crystal clear, even if you're a total beginner.
Right.
Because cloud computing is no longer just for techies. It's becoming essential knowledge across industries. So let's unravel the mysteries of the cloud.
Yeah, the cloud is everywhere these days. It really is a huge shift from how we used to think about computers, right?
Right.
Instead of those big clunky servers in some basement, we now have the cloud. It basically puts all that computing power, storage, and software online so you can access it whenever you need it from anywhere.
It's kind of like switching from buying CDs to streaming music.
Exactly.
You don't have to own every single album to have access to a huge library of songs. So for businesses, this pay-as-you-go model seems like a no-brainer. But what makes it so attractive specifically?
Well, think about a startup that's growing super fast, right? In the past, they'd have to predict how many servers they'd need months in advance and buy all that hardware up front
Yeah.
and hope they guessed right. But with the cloud, specifically something called infrastructure as a service, or IaaS,
Okay.
they can just instantly spin up more servers as their traffic grows, and when demand slows down, they can scale back down.
Right.
So they're only paying for what they're actually using.
So instead of buying a whole server room, it's like renting just the space they need whenever they need it.
Exactly.
I've heard about all these different types of cloud services. What are those all about?
Think of it like this. Okay. Imagine a building. IaaS is kind of like getting the raw materials to build your own structure.
Okay.
PaaS, which is platform as a service, is like getting a prefab framework. And then SaaS, software as a service, is like moving into a fully furnished apartment. So if we take, let's say, Amazon Web Services, AWS as an example, they have services like Amazon EC2 for IaaS, which gives you those virtual servers. Then for PaaS, there's AWS Elastic Beanstalk. It lets developers deploy and manage applications without having to worry about the servers themselves. And for SaaS, well, we use those every day. Gmail, Dropbox.
Yeah, those are classic examples. So AWS is like the landlord offering all these different types of spaces to suit different needs.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it.
But doesn't that put all your eggs in one basket? What if you become too dependent on one provider?
That's a good point. Vendor lock-in is a real concern. But there are ways to deal with that.
Okay.
For example, using things like Docker, which is a containerization technology,
Right.
you can package your applications so they can run on multiple cloud providers.
Makes sense.
It gives businesses more flexibility to switch providers or even use a multi-cloud approach if they want.
So it seems like cloud computing really requires a whole new way of thinking about IT infrastructure, right?
All right.
What are some of the common misconceptions people have about the cloud?
Well, one big one is security. People think the cloud is inherently less secure than traditional data centers. But the truth is, cloud providers actually invest a ton in security measures. Often they go way beyond what individual companies could do on their own.
Right.
But security in the cloud becomes a shared responsibility. So businesses still need to set up their own security protocols and configurations within their cloud environment.
So it's kind of like moving into a secure building,
Yeah,
but you still got to lock your apartment door.
exactly. Security by design, not just by default.
Got it. So we've covered the basics, and we've debunked some myths.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see cloud computing heading in the future?
Oh, the future of cloud computing is super exciting. One big thing is serverless computing. With services like AWS Lambda, developers can actually run code without having to set up or manage any servers at all.
Wow.
It's like having a personal chef take care of all the cooking, and you just get to enjoy the meal.
I like that analogy.
Then there's edge computing, which brings computation closer to the user. It reduces latency and allows for all sorts of real-time applications.
Okay.
Like self-driving cars or smart cities, things that need data processing to happen super fast.
Serverless computing, edge computing. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
For our listeners who want to learn more about the cloud, where should they start?
Well, a good first step is to check out the free tier offerings from providers like AWS. You can try out different services and get some hands-on experience without spending any money.
Right.
Another thing you can do is try mapping out the core concepts we talked about today.
Okay.
Visualizing how IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS all fit together can really help solidify your understanding. And finally, I'd recommend looking into how different industries are using the cloud.
Yeah, the applications seem pretty endless.
Exactly. You'll find amazing use cases in healthcare, finance, media, pretty much every sector you can imagine.
It sounds like the only limit to the cloud is our own imagination.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you've given us a lot to think about. I feel much more confident navigating this whole galaxy of cloud computing now. It's definitely an ever-evolving field,
It is.
but this deep dive has given us a great foundation to build on. Thanks so much for joining us on this journey. Keep your eyes peeled for new discoveries in the world of the cloud.
Absolutely.